Welcome to Dose of DeAnn, where you'll get a little shot of what my life is like living with SMA. I'm off to the side a little bit because my closet curtain didn't get closed, and I don't think you need to stare at my closet the whole time. Anyway, on my Facebook feed today, something popped up and I wanted to share it with you. 7 years ago, I got partnered with my service dog, Roy. Now, he's considered a successor service dog because he's actually my second service dog. I got my service dog through an organization called Canine Companions for Independence. They have different centers across the United States, and since I live in Minnesota, our center is based in Ohio. When I was younger, I would always snip out articles about, those monkeys that can brush your teeth or different gadgets that can make your life easier. But one day I was watching Dateline, and this was kind of before they did all those murder mystery shows. They featured a woman who was in a wheelchair and had gotten a service dog through this organization. I saw the dog pulling laundry out of the dryer for her, picking things up, and doing pretty extraordinary things. That moment, I said, I'm getting a service dog. Back then, the internet was very new, but I did a search and I found that Canine Companions was one of the leading organizations for providing service dogs. I contacted them and got an application, turned that in, and they invited me down there for an interview. They don't just give service dogs to anybody who wants one. They want to make sure you're responsible and would be a good caretaker for one of their dogs. We made the trek to Ohio. I don't know how I convinced my parents to do it, but there we did the interview and I met this amazing dog. I still remember his name was Royal. They showed me all of his tricks and I just thought it was pretty cool. I was accepted onto their waiting list, and at the time I was told that would be about 2.5 years. Unfortunately, it ended up being 5 years because a lot of their working dogs were retiring. And individuals who have had a service dog, when their dog retires or passes away, they get bumped up onto the list. About 5 years after waiting, I got a call that said they think they have a match for me, and they invited me to their team training. At the time, there were 6 of us students, and there were, I think, about 8 dogs that they rotated between us to see who would be the best fit. They always have 1 or 2 in mind that they think will work for you, but they just want to see how well you work with the dogs. I was partnered with my first service dog, Aiken. Here I am with Aiken. This command, when they are on your feet, is called a step. He was a black lab retriever cross, and he was actually raised in a penitentiary. All the puppies for the organization are bred through their breeding program, and then they're given to a puppy raiser to raise for the first 18 months to 2 years of their lives. My second service dog, Roy, that you've met, he was raised by a preschool teacher. Probably why he lights up when he sees kids. So it's just interesting, the dogs and their backgrounds. And then team training for my organization, it lasts about 2 weeks. And after the second or third day, they partner you with one of the dogs. And then you build that relationship with them and learn all of the commands and kind of the ins and outs of having a service dog. The second time I went through, there were 12 students actually, and I think about 14 dogs. They rotated them between us again, and there was actually one dog who I really, really liked, but because that dog responded to another gentleman better than with me, I was partnered with Roy, and I was very happy with that. The organization that I go through is a nonprofit, which means there's no cost to get the dog. There is a 2-week training that you're required to go to, so you have to pay for your own travel expenses. I was very fortunate to get a sponsor to sponsor my trip out there. Some of the facilities for canine companions have dorms, so you can stay there, but the one that I go through does not. The bond that you create with your service dog is really important. After the first week, they actually send the dog with you to the hotel and overnight, and you're supposed to keep the leash on them so they're by you at all times. This is how I was greeted after the third night at the hotel. I think it's safe to say that we bonded right off the bat. And one thing that I think and they recommend as well is that you be the one to feed the dog. So dogs are very food oriented, and my Roy is no different. Lately he's been having some digestive issues, so instead of giving him 2 big meals a day, I've been giving him 4 smaller meals a day. And I think it's really important for me to feed him myself, just to add that extra connection. But if you're not able to feed him, that's okay. I give Roy a command to go eat, so you can maybe be the one to give him that command, and so you'll still have that extra connection. I was just going to show you how I feed him. I have my PCA scoop up a little scoop of food, and this is a plastic measuring cup, so it's a little bit more lightweight than like a glass one would be. And I have a bowl that's somewhat raised off the ground. I hope you can see it here. But I pull up to it as close as I can, and then I just dump the food in. Now there are usually a couple kernels that jump out, and technically service dogs aren't supposed to eat them. Over time, Roy's learned that it's okay for him to eat them, but if he doesn't, usually my cat scarfs him up. So now I'll set this down. I like having meal times very structured. That way they know that this is his time to eat and not be scrounging around at like a restaurant or anything. So I like to have Roy do a bed before he eats, and then I give him a command to go eat. Now, sometimes I like to just test him a little bit and make sure he knows his stuff. So I test him by giving him some fake words before the real one. Roy, robot, relax, repeat, release. And there he's off to eat his supper. Now, I have a dish for him that's kind of like a puzzle shape, and that's because he usually eats really, really fast. And so this makes him slow down a little bit when he's eating. You can tell by his tail wagging that mealtime is his favorite time of the day. That's all I have for you today. Please, if you have any questions regarding service dogs, feel free to leave comments in the forums or on the YouTube channel, and I'll try to answer them to the best of my ability. Have a good day, everyone. Bye for now.